Hey, welcome to Black Lotus, where we talk about all things strange and unusual. And today we're going to be talking about the rise of black triangle sightings that has been going on since the late 90s. And it's just getting more and more and more. But before we get into that, I have to give a special shout out to somebody. I was at my local Wendy's today having lunch, and I went up to the cashier and placed my order, and I was wearing, we have a Black Lotus masks, and I was wearing one of them today, and she looked at me and she says, "You know what, that's a great YouTube channel." And I went, "Well, I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much." And anyway, a special shout out to Sylvia, who was the second person in Las Vegas area who has actually recognized me from this, and just blows my mind. So I kind of feel famous. Anyway, speaking of faithful followers, if this is your first time here at Black Lotus, be sure to like and subscribe to our videos, and be sure to hit that little bell so you get notified every time we do upload a new episode. Also want to mention that we have a podcast, and that's over at PodBean and iHeartRadio and Spotify. And I think we're on Pocket Cast too. But anyway, it's called the Paranormal News Network, and it's a little different from what we do here at Black Lotus. What we do is we bring you the latest in paranormal news, as well as talk to some very interesting people. And also related to Black Lotus, we have a discussion group over at Facebook called appropriately enough, the Black Lotus discussion group, and we have a great bunch of people there. So if you're interested in these topics, and I'm sure you are, make sure to go over to Facebook and join with us there. We don't have trolls there. We don't do things like kind of silly memes and that kind of stuff. We actually have real conversations. So definitely check us out over at the Black Lotus discussion group at Facebook, and I will drop a link for that as well as our podcast in the description below. But anyway, so Ralph, let's get into this. I find it strange that there are so many different types of UFOs out there. You know,
right.
There's egg-shaped ones, there's tic-tac ones, there's of course flying saucers, there's cigar-shaped ones, and you and I have even seen cigar-shaped ones.
Right.
They even have ones that look like boomerangs and some that look like hamburgers. You know, I mean,
all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Even the black triangles themselves come in big, giant ones or regular small ones.
Small ones, and I think those small ones are more like the TR3Bs that they've been talking about, and they think that they're made by our governments.
Yeah.
You know, but they're relatively small compared to some of these sightings. So, I mean, because some of these sightings of these black triangles describe them as being from wingtip to wingtip about the size of a football field or even larger.
Right.
Back in 2000, of course, there was that was in 1997. There was the Phoenix Lights.
Right.
And those lights formed a V formation. And interestingly enough, that started that evening here in the Las Vegas area where we live in Henderson. And they had multiple reports of this great big V-looking thing that flew slowly over Henderson and going east toward Arizona. And they think it may have, because they had reports of it going all the way through Arizona, and then eventually it's assumed that it joined with that other big V formation. Yeah, and how many people witnessed it? Like 30,000 people in Arizona witnessed this thing. There's multiple videotapes of it, and it's pretty clear. You know, you can't really see a structure necessarily, but you see these lights. And so, but I just think it's interesting that since the late 90s, there had been more and more reports of black triangles, while way back when it was all about flying saucers.
Right.
And now you see all kinds of different ones, but especially the black triangles. And the incident that happened with me, that was a black triangle, and it was about the size of a football field. You know, I mean, and really, actually, when I remembered this in 1995, I don't even recall hearing about black triangles prior to that. I mean, and when this thing took place was back in 1988. And what I'm talking about is I was abducted. And so, but I wonder if these are different races of aliens that are.
Well, yeah, would have a different ship. That would make total sense to me.
It would, but on the other hand, I mean, we have different looking ships of all kinds. I mean, why couldn't it be more than, or why couldn't it be one or two races that are in
just
command of all these different ones?
Okay.
I mean, I can see like the orbs and the Tic Tac UFOs and the cigar-shaped ones maybe being one race, and then the V-shaped ones and perhaps even flying saucers being another race, maybe. Or maybe there's, who knows, there's probably multiple races of aliens that are visiting us. So, yeah, I don't know. But, between 1983 and 1986, there was a huge rash of sightings that occurred in New York's Hudson Valley.
Right.
And that's about 50 miles north of New York City itself. But yeah, and then of course the Phoenix Lights happened in 1997. This I found this one interesting. It says in 2000, police officers from neighboring municipalities in southern Illinois were called to investigate a trucker's report of a massive arrowhead-shaped craft hovering low in the sky. And he said it was two stories high and about as long as a football field. Well, the dispatch tapes reveal the shock and awe expressed by the different law enforcement teams who were all in radio contact with each other at the time. So they all saw this thing. And, and commonly they don't produce contrails, and they're just
very
completely silent. And there's a theory that they may be studying the terrain, and that's why they stay low to the ground and they just hover, and that kind of thing. But who knows? I don't know. There is the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS, has cataloged the triangle sightings, sifting through and combining databases to take a hard look at the craft. Based here in Las Vegas, Nevada, NIDS is a privately funded science institute with a strong research focusing on aerial phenomena. But apparently this study points out that the United States is currently experiencing a wave of flying triangle sightings that may have intensified in the 90s, as I mentioned, especially toward the later part of the 90s. And the wave continues. The flying triangles are being openly deployed over and near population centers, including the vicinity of major interstate highways.
Right.
Which I find very interesting. I wonder why that is.
Just focusing on us and seeing what all the different stuff is.
Focusing on our traffic, though?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
They don't know what it is at first. You have to figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what these things are, but like I said, I was taken aboard one of them, and it was, like I said, the size of a football field, and it was run by the Greys, and,
right.
So I hate to be a stutterer here, but I just don't understand why there are so many black triangles as opposed to the popular UFOs of yesteryear, like the flying saucers.
Maybe because things have advanced. There's two reasons I have for it, possibly. One, things have advanced. In other words, look at the cars we drive nowadays compared to the cars that we used to drive. So this is maybe just a new model of how to get through space.
Entirely feasible.
And the other one is that this is our own government making them.
Yeah. But you'd think with stealth technology that they would have already exposed these things. Like the TR-3B, for instance. They're reported to move very fast, but they're just like the larger triangles. They move quite low to the ground and slow until they're spotted or whatever, and
right.
they're out of there. But you'd think that they would reveal this technology with all the work that they're putting into stealth jets and that sort of thing. Like, what was it, the B something bomber that they worked on at Area 51, and it was triangular in shape. And so I know that the government is very interested in this triangular shape, and I think it has to do with aerodynamics, to be honest with you. But these kind of things, like the TR-3B and the larger triangles, that's nothing like they've ever revealed before.
Right, and where would we hiding these if we had ones that were football field big that no one's seeing them?
Right. Well, I mean, you know as
Area
well as,
51 maybe. But...
Yeah, maybe, but you know as well as I do, there's a lot of like installations, secret installations. Point Magoo out in California. That's a relatively secret Air Force base, and and then there's the other rumors that we have underground bases.
True.
I mean, and so it could be maybe somewhere like in Dulce, New Mexico. Where they say that there's that secret alien underground base, and I can see one of these large UFOs going into the mountain in some sort of opening there, But yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
I still think it could possibly be our own. I really do.
I think some of them are our own, but I don't believe that they all are. And in fact, if they are ours, they got this technology from somewhere. Some scientists just didn't come up with this anti-gravity magic machine.
Right.
I mean, I truly believe that one of the purposes of S4 and Area 51 is, of course, backward engineering crashed UFOs or captured UFOs, perhaps. I truly believe Bob Lazar. I mean, and I didn't at first. I was very skeptical about that guy at first. But man, I don't know. The more I think about this guy, the more I'm thinking there's no way he would know that technology that was later actually revealed.
Right.
There's no way he would have known that. So I think he did work there, and I think he did do exactly that. He worked on backward engineering UFOs.
Well, like all the other ones, we'll eventually find out if it is ours.
Eventually.
That. Well, if it is ours, I'm just saying, if it is ours, give it a few years, we'll find out it's ours.
Yeah.
But if it isn't ours, we won't know, and then it's back to drawing board of what aliens are doing.
Sometimes I feel very optimistic toward the disclosure, and other times I'm thinking, we're never going to see it in our lifetimes. No way. But then again, the other side of me goes, look at how much UFOs are in the news now, and they're mainstream, and it's almost like they're prepping us for the great revelation, So yeah, I don't know, man. But anyway, what do you say we get out of here?
Sounds good.
All right, folks, thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the videos. We love to see the thumbs up, and until next time, keep thinking and question everything.